That night, the sky above Seoul seemed to tremble with the screams of thousands of fans. Inside the massive stadium packed with over 12,000 people, the name Chang Wook echoed like a sacred chant. Spotlights danced in the air, and the giant screens displayed the face of a man known not only for his stunning looks but for his pure and gentle heart. As the first soft melody began to play, Chang Wook stood in the center of the stage. His outfit was simple, a black suit that shimmered faintly under the blue lights. But his gaze that night was different. There was something deep, almost fragile, something that could be felt even from the farthest seats. When the first song ended, the crowd roared in excitement. But soon the atmosphere changed. The music stopped. Cameras zoomed in on Chang Wook's face. He stood still, staring at the audience with glassy eyes. A heavy silence fell, as if the world itself was holding its breath. "Thank you for coming," he said, his voice trembling. It was a simple sentence, but from the way he said it, everyone knew tonight wasn't just a concert. It was a confession of the heart. The first tear fell as he started his second song, one he had written himself, for someone he's missed for a very long time. His voice cracked, his emotions were raw. The audience began to cry. Some in the front rows covered their faces with tissues, others held their phones with shaking hands, recording the moment. On the giant screen, his tears glistened. They weren't fake. They weren't hidden. Chang Wook was crying, not out of weakness, but because all the emotions he had carried for years finally overflowed. And before 12,000 fans, he let it all out. "Sometimes I feel lonely," he said softly. "But tonight, you made me feel loved." Those words ignited a wave of emotion. Fans screamed, "We love you, Wook," in multiple languages: Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, English. It was a symphony of love that filled the air. The stage lights turned a gentle shade of purple, a color of sorrow and hope. Chang Wook looked out at the ocean of glowing phone lights that flickered like tiny stars. He smiled through his tears, and that smile broke thousands of hearts all at once. Song after song, his voice trembled but never faltered. Each lyric felt like a love letter to his fans. No one moved, no one shouted. Everyone was caught in that beautiful ache of emotion, a perfect mix of love, loss, and quiet happiness. Later, the giant screen behind him began playing clips from his career, from his humble debut to the difficult times when he had to take a break. A soft narration played, "Thank you for never giving up on me." And in that moment, many in the crowd openly wept. Chang Wook stared at the screen, head bowed. He covered his face with his hands, trying to hold back his tears, but failed. He smiled through the pain and said, "I'm nothing without you." The stadium erupted once again in thunderous applause and cheers of devotion. Then came the most touching moment, when he walked to the edge of the stage and held the hands of fans in the front row. That night, there was no distance between a star and his supporters. There were only human hearts, connected through tears. "Wook Appa, don't cry!" shouted a young fan with a trembling voice. Chang Wook looked at her and smiled gently. "I'm crying because I'm happy," he said, and the entire stadium wept with him once more. Even the staff backstage were seen wiping their eyes. Some secretly recorded the scene, knowing that this was history in the making. A night that would be remembered as one of the most emotional concerts in Korean entertainment. After the final song ended, Chang Wook stood silently in the middle of the stage. The music stopped, but the cheers did not. He gazed out at the sea of faces, then bowed deeply. 15 seconds, 20 seconds, before standing tall again, eyes still glistening. "Thank you for believing in me," he said in English. "I promise to keep working hard, not as an actor, not as a singer, but as someone who wants to make you proud." Those words sent a shockwave through the audience. People hugged, screamed, cried. Even outside the stadium, those who couldn't get in were singing along together. The whole world seemed to pause for that one beautiful moment. Social media exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like #GChangWookCrying and #WookSeoulConcert were trending worldwide. Clips of his tearful performance spread across every platform. Thousands of comments poured in. "He's not just a celebrity, he's human, and that's why we love him." The next morning, headlines across Asia lit up. A concert that shook the soul. one Korean outlet wrote. Tears that reminded the world of human emotion, read a Japanese report. Everyone agreed, it wasn't just a show, it was a spiritual experience. Fans from Indonesia and Thailand even launched a special project to send him messages of love and gratitude. In one fan-made video, they said, "Thank you for teaching us that crying isn't weakness, it's courage." The video reached millions of views in just a day. 4 days after, Chang Wook stayed silent on social media. He only posted one black and white photo, him standing on stage, smiling through tears with the caption, "Thank you for seeing the real me." Comments flooded in from around the world. Fans wrote messages filled with love and admiration, many saying that night changed the way they saw their idol, not just as a superstar but as a person who dares to be vulnerable. That concert is now known as the Night of Tears in Seoul. Critics called it a turning point for Korean entertainment, from the pursuit of perfection to the celebration of honesty and emotion. But for Chang Wook, that night was something even deeper. "It was the night I finally made peace with myself," he later said in an interview. "I cried, but for the first time in a long while, I felt free." And perhaps that's why those 12,000 people felt like they had witnessed something more than a performance. They witnessed a miracle, a man brave enough to show his heart to the world. To this day, the concert video continues to gain millions of views. Every time the song Echo of My Soul plays, comments appear. "I still cry every time I hear this." Chang Wook may have wiped away his tears that night, but the memory of them remains forever in the hearts of his fans. That night, Seoul didn't just host a concert. It became the witness to pure emotion, to a star unafraid to show that even at the peak of fame, tears still have meaning. And there, under the blinding lights, Chang Wook stood, crying not out of weakness but out of love.